Hey y'all, welcome back to The Cutest Little Thing. My name is Andrea and I'm so glad you're here today. I love primitive farmhouse DIY home decor, and that's a lot of what you will find on this channel. One of my favorite things to create with is fabric, and in today's video, we will be using fabric to make the cutest home decor pieces. We had another fabric DIY video out not too long ago, so this is part 2 of that video. Be sure and check that out if you missed it. I can't wait to show you what's in store. Grab something to drink and let's get started. I purchased a template off of Etsy of a gingerbread man, and I traced it onto a piece of cardboard and then traced that onto some muslin fabric and cut those out. You will need a front and a back. We are making the cutest no-sew gingies. So just line your two pieces of fabric together, and I always like to start at the feet. It just seems like it's easier to start at the feet, and you want if you have the low and high setting on your glue tool, you want it to be on the low heat setting. I find that to work better when gluing my fabric. And just work in sections, putting a little hot glue and then pressing that together. You want to work in sections because hot glue does dry quickly, and you want that glue to be good and hot when you are pressing that together. Next, you want to grab your polyfill and begin stuffing those feet where we have glued both of the feet completely together. Just grab your polyfill and stuff. And I like to tear the polyfill to kind of fluff it a little bit. And if you don't have any polyfill on hand, but you have a throw pillow laying around that you no longer need or you're just tired of, you can cut that up and use that stuffing for your gingy as well. I always just love to use what I already have on hand. And just repeat that process until you get your entire gingy all the way glued and all the way stuffed. Working your way up with the glue to his arms and then finally getting to his head, leaving a small opening to get the rest of your stuffing in before you completely seal it up with your glue. Now we are ready to paint our gingy, or I should say coffee grunge our gingy. That is the perfect paint color. I think I love to use coffee grunge for my gingies. All coffee grunge is water, instant coffee, cinnamon, vanilla, and I like to add pumpkin pie spice to mine. You can screenshot that recipe, and you can also message me on my Facebook business page to order your coffee grunge in a jar, and all you do is add a cup of water once you purchase it, and you are ready to grunge your crafts away. And you can store it in the fridge between uses. I just brush that on just like you would paint using a paintbrush, and I get all over the gingy front and back, and you want to be sure and get in those little cracks and crevices as well. Next, I take some homespun fabric, tie that in a shoestring bow, and also layer that with a jute string bow as well. Trim those tails as long or as short as you would like. And then I love to add buttons to my gingy. I like to put the bottom one a little bigger than the top one, and I put 2 buttons on there, just hot gluing them on. And the possibilities are endless, how you embellish yours and the different fabrics that you use and buttons. I also love to add tags to mine using the little cardboard tags and using a stamp. I staged these up. I grabbed a thrifted basket and I painted it and added fabric and a bow and a North Pole tag and added my little gingies in. And I just love how these turned out. Let me know what you think. I hope you are enjoying today's DIYs. If you are and you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will before you leave today. Just click that arrow, that subscribe button below. And YouTube is a little bit specific, so when you click subscribe, hit the arrow and choose to get all notifications so that you won't miss a thing. All right, let's get back to the DIYs. Okay, y'all, I know we've already done stockings this season, but we have to do cute little mini stockings. So again, I just took some muslin fabric. I drew out the shape of a cute little stocking, cut that out. You need a front and a back for each stocking. These are no sew. We are going to be using hot glue. But first, we're going to grungy these up just a tad using some coffee. This is instant coffee mixed with some water. And I did add just a little touch of cinnamon in here. I'm using my paintbrush just to brush this on. You could dunk your stocking in there and just squeeze out your excess, but that would wrinkle up your fabric. I wanted to keep these straight. I didn't want them to get really wrinkly. So that's why I chose to just brush that coffee over the stocking. And you may have caught my mistake. I grunged the same side of the stocking. So make sure you flip your other stocking over and do the other side. Once you have your stockings grunged and dried, place those together, grab your hot glue gun, and I like to start at the bottom of my stocking. It doesn't matter if you start at the heel or the toe, but just somewhere along that bottom, you want to go ahead and close that up, working in sections because that hot glue dries quickly. Next, I grabbed some homespun fabric. This fabric's from Hobby Lobby. You can also use some homespun fabric from JubileeFabrics.com, Amazon, or Walmart. And I just tore a strip. I glued a little section over that toe and flip your stocking over where you can see better and just cut around that toe, cutting that fabric. That's an easier way to get it to fit on there. And just like that, look how cute. And then we're going to do the same thing to the heel of our stocking. Just dab you a little glue down, put down your fabric. And y'all, I say this all the time. Y'all know what I'm fixing to say. The possibilities are endless. You can use any fabric. You can do all different colors and stage them all together. I love to do red, green, black, cream. You could use pattern fabric like music notes. And if you're not a fan of the coffee grunge look or the coffee stained look, you can skip that step and leave your stocking the natural muslin color. Then you want to tear you a strip for the top of your stocking, and same thing, that glue, that hot glue, and then trim away that excess. And y'all, look how cute this is already. If you just want plain and simple, you could stop right here and hang these on your Christmas tree for a cute ornament. I do like to add a little stuffing in there just to give the stocking some dimension and to also make it look like it is full of goodies. We don't want a flat stocking. We want Santa to have already came and filled that stocking with plenty of goodies. Not too full though, because you don't want it to look like a pillow. Once you're satisfied with that, we are ready to embellish. I grabbed some buttons and a cute stamp. I did grab a little cardboard tag. If you don't have any tags on hand, you can grab you some cardstock and cut your own tags. This December 25th stamp I got from Temu a couple of years ago, but someone told me that they do have them available on Amazon, and they come in a little pack with some other Christmas stamps. They are really cute. Once that's stamped, I just take that ink pad and go around that tag to create a border. And these stars, these wooden stars, I got a pack of those from Amazon, and I just hot glued one of those on the toe. And then I took some buttons, one bigger and two smaller, and created a little cluster right at the corner of that stocking. Next, I grabbed a little strip of that same fabric and I tied a shoestring bow, and you can pull on those tails and pull on those loops to get your bow the size that you would like and trim away any excess. I wanted to hot glue this bow right at the other corner of the stocking, right where the hanger is. I thought that was really cute. And of course, y'all know we have to layer that bow with a little jute string shoestring bow right over that, and just trim that excess as well, getting it about the same length. It doesn't have to be exact, and hot glue that right in place. I decided to add some greenery to these. This little berry bush came from Factory Direct. I kept seeing it and I wanted to try it, so I finally did, and y'all, it's my new favorite. I absolutely love it. I almost think I love it better than the dried Annie, the dried sweet Annie. And of course, we need a hanger to be able to hang our stocking. And I wanted to show you how I did that. I did decide to use muslin fabric, and I coffee dyed that as well. It's just a thin strip of that fabric. And I put a dab of hot glue right in the corner of that stocking. I put down one end of the muslin string, then I put another dab of glue, and then put the other end of that muslin string. And that's how I created the little hanger for the stocking. And here I'm just showing you how I dyed that fabric. And this is some green fabric. I also did a green stocking as well. And I just had my bowl here with the instant coffee and the water and a little pinch of cinnamon. I just get my hands in there and move it all around, stir it up, squeeze it just to make sure the coffee covers the entire fabric. And then you can hang it to dry. And y'all, here they are all staged up. Here's the red checkered one. There's that green one, and we coffee stained that fabric. And then here I staged up two of them on this Christmas tree. Just look how cute they are as little ornaments on the tree. I love the black and the cream as well. And then this one was the red stripe, the red and cream stripe. And that fabric came from Hobby Lobby as well. And y'all, while I'm here, I've just got to show you my tree I decided to do this year. It has fake bake ornaments on it that I got from Amazon. And look at this cute gingerbread topper that came from Amazon as well. And I will link the Amazon topper, the gingerbread topper in the description. And it's 22% off right now, y'all. It's only like around $6. And it is just so cute. And the fake bake ornaments, they almost look like they've been coffee grunged already. Get a close up where y'all can see those. And there were all different ones. All of these came in that same pack. They also have the cute donuts. They look like little cookies and donuts, but they look so realistic. But the big box was only, I'm not sure exactly how many pieces were in the box, but they were only $9.99. Okay, so one more time, those stockings. I hope y'all love these as much as I do. I almost love these minis more than I love the full-size stockings that we made earlier in the Christmas season. Y'all, let me know what you think of these, and let me know if you will be making some too. One of my favorite Christmas DIYs is making homespun candy canes. And to do that, I grabbed these plastic candy canes. You can get them from your dollar store or purchase a bulk bag of them off of Amazon. I began by putting a dab of hot glue at the end of the candy cane and pressing my homespun fabric strip into that glue. And it's as simple as this. Just wrap around your candy cane. You don't want too big of a gap between your fabric pieces because you don't want to be able to see that plastic candy cane peeping through. So you want to overlap your fabric just a little bit. And I wrap a good ways before I put another little dab of hot glue. And then I'll always, when I get up here to the top of the candy cane where it loops, I will put more hot glue to be sure that fabric does not slip down from the candy cane. And just continue overlapping that fabric and wrapping around that loop until you get all the way to the end. Put your last dab of hot glue on the tip of that candy cane, pressing that fabric in, and then cut off your excess. And you can adjust however you need to. But it's as simple as that, and you can make several. I love to make 3 and put them in a little candy cane bunch. And I take a piece of jute string and tie those 3 candy canes together in a little bundle. Next, I grab my bow maker to create a little mini bow to go on the bundle, creating those mini loops since we need a small bow for our candy canes. And I use a variety of fabrics when I do these because I always do them in the homespun fabrics. So I just mix and match my fabrics with the greens and the reds and the beige or the cream colors. Once I get my bow glued on, I take these little mini rusty bells and I hot glue 2 of them to embellish that bow. You could also add a rusty star, or you could do a little jute string shoestring bow and embellish your homespun bow with that. I thought it would be cute to put a little mini jute string bow right between those 2 jingle bells. I thought that just added an extra little touch. I also love to add greenery to these for a pop of color. These cedar picks I get off of Amazon, and they're really easy to cut up into pieces. And I'll just cut them into really small pieces and hot glue them to the back of my bow and let them stick out a little bit from the bow. And you can add as much or as little greenery as you would like, or you could even skip this step if you didn't want greenery on yours. And these turn out so cute, y'all. Look how cute they are. And here's a bunch more you can do in different colors. And I just repeated that process, y'all, making bundles of 3 using different fabrics. And I did use some different greenery on some of them. And I decided to add little tags onto each bundle. My tags were a little bit too big, so I just took a smaller wooden tag that I had in my stash, and I took and cut some of my other tags to that same smaller size. I grabbed my ink pad and this cute little candy cane stamp. It came in a bundle of a lot of other stamps, and it came from Temu. I'm not sure if they still have this same one available, but I just stamped that little candy cane on the tag, and then I made a little border around that tag using my ink pad. Put a little dab of hot glue. I just glue my tags on. It's so much easier, and nestle it in right into the bow loops. And some of the candy cane bundles, I had some Sweet Annie, some dried Sweet Annie that I purchased from Etsy, and used that on some. And here are just some examples of other bundles that I did. I also had some wooden stars that I embellished some of the candy cane bundles with. Lots of tags, lots of stamping, but y'all, these are super cute to make and for your Christmas tree or just to display in a dough bowl on your table. That's a wrap on our part 2 of our fabric DIY video. And if you did miss part 1, I hope that you will go back and check that one out as well. There's some fun projects there for you too. And before y'all know it, it'll be time to be crafting Christmas in July, and it'll be Christmas again. It seems you cannot start crafting early enough for Christmas. Every year I start a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier, and it never seems to be enough time. But this is a wrap on our Christmas crafting for the season. Until next time. But I do have lots of fun ideas coming up for the new year. I hope that y'all enjoy your Christmas. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy time with your family and your friends. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next video. And until then, keep crafting. Love you all, and I'll see you soon. Let's check out those projects one last time before we go. Have a blessed Christmas. Bye for now.